Hi there, I'm going to do some new bloom coasters today. I'll just find you the ones that I did yesterday. So these are the ones. I've just finished them off with a silver edge, which I think looks lovely. So just a bit disappointed that I wasn't quite sure how far the purple pigment would spread. So it was more of a test really, because obviously alcohol ink spreads really fast and quickly, whereas pigment paste doesn't, because it's a lot thicker. So now that I've kind of done that little bit of a test, I know now to put more in. Okay, so I'm using, first off, a new resin that I've not tried before. Sigwong. I've seen some really good results for this. What I will say is normally for the bloom coasters, I use the Jade Diction 4-Hour Cure. It's very thick. I tend to over pour because it is that thick. Which, as I say, is a bit of an issue in itself, but however. So this has poured down, it's certainly a lot thinner, but not as thin as using something like a 2 to on a deep pour. So we'll see how we go with it. What I've also got, which you won't be able to see, I've tried this out, and I tried it out yesterday making the others, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was actually advertised on Facebook as a resin warmer. So I thought, well, I don't really want to pay that amount, and plus I don't trust what's advertised on there to not be a scam. So I went on Amazon, and the exact same thing came up when I put in resin warming plate. I think it was something like that. This came up, so it's a coffee mug warmer, and it's the exact same thing. So I've had it set to 40 degrees. I did put it on 50 degrees. So when I was mixing this up, I put it at 50 to help me mix, and I did find that the bottom of that got quite hot. I don't know if it's because it's silicone, but at the side of this side, which you obviously can't see, I've just got the 3 pots that I'm going to put the pigment paste into on the warmer, just to try and thicken it up while we do everything else. Sure, let's get started. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of clear. What I will say with this one straight away, it really is crystal clear. I know it says that on the bottle, but, you know, I've had them before when they say, you know, no bubbles, crystal clear, and they haven't been. So I didn't really take much notice of that. But as you can see, I mean, it's been sat for about 5 or 10 minutes while I've been setting up. So not a huge amount of time, but obviously it's been sat long enough for it to sort of settle and dispel any bubbles from mixing. But again, it mixed really easy. The Jade Diction 4-Hour Cure, it's like you're making a cake. Like it needs kneading, probably because, as I say, it is so thick. So obviously I'm not going up to the top of these moulds because I haven't actually decided yet if I'm going to do a top layer. Sometimes I can't be bothered to kind of wait and, you know, do a layer, then wait another day, then do a layer. So sometimes I just fill it up, and I just find that it doesn't show off the blooms as nice. So I might decide, as I say, to do a bit of a back layer with them. Right, if you were my isopropyl alcohol spray, where would you be? One thing I have to say about me is I am incredibly cluttered. Oh, here we go. It's right next to me. So I tend to buy a massive bottle off Amazon. And 99.9% really is the best. I can't stress that enough. Percentage, all that means is when it's lesser percent, it's got more water added to it to dilute it. Well, water and resin doesn't go well, does it? So that's why you tend to then get things not mixing, because you've actually added some water into your resin. So I can't stress enough the importance of 99.9. And then I just put it in a travel bottle that's a spritzer, because the other one's far too, comes out far too quick and thick. So I'm just going to give it one spritz on each one, and that's more than enough. Now, I'm using a couple of different types of pigment paste. So these two here, which is a grey and a purple, I think if I'm right, they came from Temu. And they're absolutely fine, but they're not as good as the white pigment paste that I got off Amazon. Obviously, it's more expensive, but it's a lot thicker, and you only need a tiny amount. This one still comes out lovely. It still gives a lovely finish, but this one's definitely better. So I'm gonna have a search, I think, and look for some better ones. So let's find me. These are what I tend to use for a lot of things. You'll see they're very dirty and messy. Again, I'm not very tidy. And it's soft silicone end and a hard end. And these are just brilliant for absolutely everything. And they wipe clear really well. So all I'm doing is opening baby wipes up, having them all ready for when I need them. Then you're not getting everything sticky, your packets sticky. Best to be prepared. So this is the grey one to start off with. So I'm just going to use the end, and this is how I mix it all through. And then I'm simply scraping all that excess off. You only need a tiny amount. The reason why you get blobs that come through on your blooms is because you've put too much pigment in. So this is lovely and warm now. And I'm just mixing it straight into that. Just making sure that it's all gone through, and it has. Get the excess off. So I'm just putting that back on my warmer again. I am noticing with this new resin, against, as I said, the J Diction, it's not thickening up as quick. But I did say to you at the beginning, didn't I, that it certainly wasn't as thick, despite them both being one-to-one resins. I would have expected it to be the same, but I suppose we can't expect the same thing. I don't know. So again, mixing round. Sorry, I do tend to waffle on a bit as well. I do apologise. Have some weird rants. And then stir that in again, like we did the last one. As you can see, I'm not a slow stirrer. I'm quite heavy-handed, but it's not actually causing any bubbles in there. There's a couple of surface ones. That's it. And then we're just going to wipe all that. Oh no, I've taken the end off it. See what I mean by being heavy-handed? I have had these a while though, to be fair. I've got some new ones, so I probably do need to get those out now. I think these have about had it. You get a lot of hammer in these, to be fair. Now you'll see exactly what I mean. I'll just put that lid on because I do tend to knock things over. And I don't have a massive workspace because, I have got a massive workspace, it's just full. So now you'll see what I mean with this. See how much thicker that is? So much thicker. So you do need a lot less with this, but again, you absolutely must stir it. So getting it all off, you can see there's not much left on that at all. There we go. And then I'm just putting it back on that warmer thing again. I think we're just going to throw that one now because it's certainly had a hammering. And we'll just find one that's not... that was my fine tip one that I prefer for everything, but... oh yes, they've all about had it by the looks of it. I do have some new ones somewhere, but I couldn't for the life of me tell you where they are. I've got some tips. You don't know where I've put them. Like I said, my craft room needs a bit of a gutting at the moment. Some little tipped ones, but I don't know where they've gone. Well, we'll use that one for now. Let's not stress about it. You don't need to see me searching around for stuff. So we're just going to put those back. Again, just try and declutter the station. Okay, so I'm going to use these absolutely gorgeous holographic, it's like large chunky glitter, but it's a bit more weighty. So I used glass shards in the last ones and that worked really well. So I'm just going to try these glitters. I tend to try and do it on one of these. You can guarantee now that I'm doing a video, it's just all going to go wrong. I'm going to make a hash up of it. I'm going to make myself look stupid, aren't I? Mind you, that doesn't take much, to be fair. I think I might have got to a certain age where I don't really care. So I'm just dropping it all into the middle. And don't worry that it's not all collected together, that some things are spreading. Because as you'll see, we will start to form it into the resin. So I'm just trying to get resin on top of it to sink it. And then to stop it from moving. So like that, look. Hopefully you saw that. I know it was probably quick, but there might be an easier way of doing this, but this is just how I tend to do it. It's, you know, we've all got different processes. You know, we all learn differently, etc. So this is just, as I say, the easiest way I find of doing it. Just kind of teasing the resin in and then trying to get it back into a blob. So essentially that's what it is, isn't it? It's just a blob. But if it spreads too much, it really doesn't look nice when you demould it against the flour. You know, you can do it where you don't put enough in, which again doesn't give you enough kind of definition, enough sparkle. But then if you do it when you've put too much in, it takes over the bloom. And again, fine glitter, because it spreads so much, it's not sinking, will just completely overtake everything. So I'm just moving it. Again, some of these have spread a bit. I've just noticed, I think mixed in between this is also some fine glitter, which isn't great. for the purpose of what I'm doing. So you can see some of them have gone well, but some of them have spread a little bit more because there's a bit more fine glitter mixed in with it. But we'll see. It works or it doesn't work, you know. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. It's all about learning. We don't all know everything when it comes to resin. I might have been doing this for about 3 years now. And I'm still learning lots and lots. Watching YouTube, you know, YouTube channels, absolutely all sorts will give you the information that you need. And sometimes people will come up with different techniques to doing things that you've not even thought about. So why not try it? I don't think this is thick enough. And like I've said, I haven't worked with Sigwong before. So I really didn't know what to expect. But as I say, I wanted to at least be able to try it. So all I'm doing is one ring right up to the edge. Sometimes I tend to trial things because you're not always sure how much you're going to need of something. So I'd rather err on the side of caution and then go back and, I have to put more in. Is better than obviously overfilling, overflowing, because you can't take it out again. Gone a bit wobbly with that one because my arm's overextended. Again, it's the not paying full attention and too worried about talking to you. I'll pop a bit more in. And the last one. And I'm just going to put a tiny bit more on that edge because it's not thick enough. There we go. That's better. A bit more on that one. Okay. So that's the purple. I like these little pouring cups. I should have shown you actually. You've got a little vent at the side and you can hold them quite easily. I'm trying to think where I got them from. I'm pretty sure Amazon, Temu, all those different places stock them. And then I'm going to go next to that one. So you can see I'm not being particularly careful. I just want them to kind of go next to each other. I might not have mixed enough of this one up, I don't know. Again, I don't tend to. I'm not very good at calculating. Not that I'm not very good at calculating. I think I just seem to have an eye for how much I need. And it does tend to work most of the time. Most of the time, so you have done enough. I've done just enough. And that's without, as I say, calculating how much I needed. So I've done all right, haven't I, really? So I'm just going to add a few more bits to thicken that up. And actually, I'm not going to be able to back these because I'm forgetting I'm not using alcohol ink, so I'm putting more resin in each time I add this in. So I'm not going to have the room. But it doesn't matter because I do like how the others turned out, with you still being able to see a bit of clear through them. But I'm just hoping, as I say, this will give it even more definition with the greying as well. As you can see, I'm just going round, just trying to fill a bit more in of these white spaces. Well, not white, it's clear, isn't it? That one's full. And then we're just filling it up then, so we don't need to put anything else in because they'll be filled. Yeah, some in that one. So they don't look much now looking at them, do they? You're sat and you're thinking, what is she thinking? These look rubbish. That's the thing with resin, is you've got to wait for the final results. They don't always, you know, they're not going to look like anything's happening until you're finished. Maybe had that one on a bit too long. It's got a bit too hot underneath. So we know now to not leave it as long. It's actually steaming. Hey dear. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put it inside a double one. So I've learnt something there, so that's fine. So we're going to go back in that same pattern, and I've completely, that's because I've got a double tiered pour. So not to worry, I'm going to rectify it, and I'll show you exactly what I mean by I'm going to rectify it, so don't panic. If you do the same as what I've done and you get what I call a blobby pour, that's how it should be, like that. Didn't quite work out like that, did it? So I've done it again on that one. I think, as I say, it's I've had the warmer on certainly too high, because I actually turned it up to 50 and then forgot about it. So there's a lesson learnt there, isn't there? But again, that's why we watch these videos. It's not necessarily everybody's got to be perfect at what they're doing, and we all make mistakes. But it's the beauty, as I say, of live, you know, videos, that things aren't going to go right. Sorry, I'm changing my gloves again. I've got some new gloves and they've been absolutely shocking. And my thumbnail keeps going through them. And I'm very conscious, as I say, that I don't want to get resin on myself. Safety and all of that. So, now we've absolutely knackered this because it's already setting. Darn it. Now, this certainly didn't happen yesterday. And even the things that are thin You know, the thinner ones are still immovable. I mean, not immovable. They are moving with this. Normally, I'd be able to sweep and merge it in. So we're going to have to do our best, but it's not going to work. As you can see, it's going absolutely all over the bloody place. So, lesson learned with that mug warmer, isn't it? Oh well. We might still get a cool effect, who knows, but I'm not hopeful in the slightest that it will work in any way, shape or form. Oh, Jesus. Well, you'll not be watching this again, will you? Again, I've not worked with the Sig Wong, so I didn't know how this was going to react. And as I say, it hasn't reacted well at all. Oh, it's like I've got glue in there. It's awful. But it's only the white that's doing it. The other colours haven't gone sticky at all. I mean, I know the white did sit there a little bit longer. It's kind of like spaghetti. So we're going to get a nice spaghetti look on these blooms. I'm trying my best to only go over the top to see if we can salvage something from them. But there is no chance whatsoever. Oh, hideous. Absolutely hideous. Can't even talk anymore now. I'm so annoyed with myself. Hey, it's all about experimenting, isn't it? Trying to see if things work. And that's how we learn. This one's completely overspilling for some bizarre reason. Let's try. Some of these moulds, I think, it's not my desk, but some of the moulds are not level. Because, as I say, I do level my desk, all of that. So I'm convinced it's more to do with the moulds themselves. I think over time, they kind of start to wither in a little bit. But I'll show you what I do in regards to that. So I'm just going to see if I can do something in the way of pulling. And as I say, I'm trying not to go under the surface, but as you can see, it's still pulling at it anyway because of this this weird texture. So I'm trying to at least create something that looks different. I don't even want to start with these two. I don't know where to start. I mean, that's got a massive blob under there. Oh, it's like snotty glue. Oh God, it's awful. God. Oh. As I say, I've never, ever had this happen before, but I'm doing two completely new things. So one is the new Sigwong, which I've heard fors and against with. Some people have said how awful it is. Some people have said how, you know, they wouldn't use anything else. So I don't think you can review some, you know, go by reviews all the time, because there's lots of factors involved. I'm going to see if I can take a big blob of this out. See if that helps. No. Ow. What would help it at this point apart from chucking it in the bin? So these couple here seem to have got a bit more shape, but as I said, the problem is when you're going through, it's that the white is completely sticking to the silicone. Because I thought I'd just be able to go through like that, but as I say, it's like a rubber band. It's the most bizarre texture. There we go. All that can go in the bloody bin. Oh, I haven't done that one. Chuff. I wouldn't normally use this, but seeing as I've just thrown my other one in the bin, because I really don't want to start trying to peel off this stupid sticky substance of the white. Oh gosh. So there you have it, what not to do when making resin blooms. I'm going to spritz them. I don't know why, because they're a complete and utter disaster. But that's the process anyway. Following the process is still going to be the same, but as I suggest you do a bit of testing first. If you are going to use a resin warmer, you know, something to warm your resin first, definitely do a minor test on something like, you know, use 10 mils of something and do that, rather than wasting 500 mils of resin like I've just done. All right, thanks. Bye.